Hey everybody, I'm just doing a bit of a product review today, and today what I have here is the Sarissa Precision North American 28mm Plantation / Townhouse. So this is for the 20mm North American colonial style house. Can be used in various things such as French and Indian War as well as American War of Independence. So here's the picture, very nice sort of colonial looking home, and there's a picture of the back. Now for directions, everything is on this page, and so this is your actual list of directions here, 1 through 7. It's extremely basic. Thankfully, it's actually an extremely basic kit. You know, essentially, other than a couple of fixtures for the fireplace, you know, some molding around it and the actual chimney that you put on the back, the rest is really just putting the window shutters, putting 4 walls onto a bottom. There's 2 sets of interior partitions, and your roof with 2 chimneys, and so you have your roof joists. Really, that's it. It's extremely simple kit. For those of you that watch the channel, you know that I am a big fan of Sarissa Precision. This review will be no different in that respect, but I will show the kit and just talk a little bit about it if you're interested in this particular kit. I really do feel that the Sarissa Precision kits hit a really good value when it comes to what you get and for what you spend and how much you actually end up time you have to put into for assembly. I think they're beautiful looking models, and I'd have to say they're probably up there with my favorite kits to build and to own and purchase. The only negative for Sarissa Precision kits right off the bat is that they are not pre-painted, and so if you know, unlike me, if you prefer not to paint your models, like your houses and terrain, then you may not like these kits because they do require you to paint them. I do like the competitor models where they're actually pre-painted as well. It is nice to save that time, but to be honest, if I had to choose one, meaning have everything pre-painted as far as terrain versus having the ability to buy unpainted terrain and buildings so I could paint them myself, I would choose the latter, personally. So I will show you this kit. As I showed, the directions are extremely simple. There we go. I'm going to just pull my tripod back slightly here. So I really think that this is a beautiful looking kit. I don't remember exactly how much this was. It's been a while since I've looked at it. I believe I had gotten mine from Warlord, and I think you're looking in the area of the $20 range for this particular style kit. This is definitely a smaller kit as compared to the European Chateau that I also own, and it's probably more similar to the barn, actually, that just with a bit different shape, obviously, but somewhat of a similar footprint. It's a nice looking home, but not a huge amount of footprint on the floor, but it does actually have a bit of height, and so it creates a nice, definitely a nice look. So this kit took about, because I'd never built this particular design before and I want to make sure I was doing everything right, this took me probably about 45 minutes to an hour to build. I would say if I had to do another one, it would take me between 30 and 45 minutes. So I'd probably save about 15 minutes just having gone through it already. I think it's pretty safe to say. Pretty simple, like you're basically putting the shutters on, you're putting your door frame on, this external chimney here, as well as the 2 chimneys on the roof, like I'd mentioned. It does fit, as opposed to inside, the molding, I guess it's the fascia, actually fit. It's either soffit or fascia, I think it's fascia. Fits on the outside of the roof. And so one thing so far, I mean, I just built this today. I think actually it fits pretty tight, which it'll likely loosen up a bit. It comes off pretty easily, but when I put it on, it was kind of tight. And so you have your, like I mentioned, these fit on the outside. This is extremely simple to put together. The inside, the only negative, and this applies to both floors for the inside, is that there are a lot of partitions here, and you could correct this. Like if you wanted, you could reasonably cut here or here and take away some of these partitions to allow more room and open space room. I just left it as is. We would just house rule for the games we're doing that, you know, this is all sort of one space. This is actually fairly tight. It's actually a little bit easier than the last time I did it. I think it's just kind of working its kinks out because it's new, but it just sits in here. I do like the fact that there's some detail on the floor. There's not a tremendous amount of interior detail with these kits. They do provide a bit of a fireplace. It's in a fairly small room. And it actually has to be that way with the way the grooves are. I mean, you could potentially cut something, but this is the way it's meant to be. If one thing that's different about the directions is that both the upper and lower floors, it actually shows that you actually have 6 rooms. If you look at it there. When you actually look at the kit, you don't. You actually have a bigger open space as opposed to this here. There is nothing that would actually attach to here to go here that's provided on either floor. Having said that, I actually prefer it this way. I like having some of the bigger space in there. So that's nice. So yeah, there is a nice floor that I'll be painting wood. Because I've glued this in, I will have a little bit of trouble. But you could do it, I suppose, ahead of time if you really wanted to. But yeah, interior is somewhat plain. But in my mind, it's a beautiful exterior, and I think it's ranks really highly on simplicity, value, and aesthetics from my perspective. So, okay, well, that is really all I have to say about the kit. It was actually really simple, like I said, to build. I'm really looking forward to painting it. But you can hear it, it kind of does. It is pretty tight, but I suspect that's going to loosen up a bit. But it goes in pretty easy. And then getting the outside on, I'm just clip it on the sides. There we go. Pretty easy. So yeah, I rank this pretty highly. I'm really happy. I would definitely do another one of these. It'll look really good for my Musket and Tomahawk games, is what I'm planning on using it for. And I hope you enjoyed the review. Take care, everybody.